Good morning, guys. John here with SP California Bushcraft. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you all can hear me pretty well. It's been a very cold morning this morning. I just got out here. I was driving out here this morning, and I left the house, and it was very cold. It was about 53 degrees this morning. So I'm wearing a sweater. I've got my beanie. I've also got my head protection right here. So today for this episode, we got a couple of videos that we're going to be working on today to finish off the 2016 year. A few other people pulling in here, just checking it out. So today for this episode, we're going to review on my cutting tools. So on some of the cutting tools and some changes that I made recently. So stick around, let's have a look. Alright, my friends, so these are the tools that I specifically take out with me when I go out camping, and also what I carry in my EDC bag as well. And today I wanted to talk about exactly like what I'm using now versus what I used to carry before. And so let's go ahead and get started. So these are 4 different types of axes and hatchets that I typically do carry when I go out into the bush for either an overnight adventure or also what I do carry in my EDC bag. And it is starting to warm up around here, so let's go and take this off, shall we? I do love this thing though, it works great. That's better. I'm gonna put my hat back on, keep my head nice and warm. My beanie back on, and my sunglasses, because the sun's right in my eyes right now. Alright, so let's go and talk about what we have here. So we have 2 different types of axes, one here, and 2 hatchets. Now these are the tools that I typically take with me out into the bush, and I decided to make a few changes here along the way. So let's go ahead and start with the changes first of all. Now, obviously you guys have seen this one here. I've done a review on this Gerber hatchet, and this is a very nice hatchet. Very nice sheath, good size, very good size head, and the fact that it's got a nice metal pommel, which is great, especially when it comes to hammering 10 stakes into the ground. And then another great feature about this particular hatchet as well is that it's got a spare knife in it as well, as for extra cutting power, especially when it comes to cutting rope or if I need to skin some game, which typically when I go out I usually don't, but you never know, anything's possible. An extra knife is always good to have handy. So we're going to go ahead and leave those out here. And they ain't going to work the way I wanted to. That's okay. So let's go ahead and put this guy down here. And another hatchet I also do carry in my Bushcraft kit. You've obviously seen this hatchet a lot, and that is going to be the East Wings hatchet. And this is a very nice hatchet. I've had this guy now for quite a while, for a little over a year now, almost 2 years, and I absolutely love this hatchet. I've had to sharpen it at least one time. It does keep a very good edge. And that's the beauty about this. And as you can see, if you look on the back of that hatchet there, I've used this hatchet many times to hammer my 10 stakes into the ground, because as you guys know, I live in California, and where I camp at, either here at Steckle Park where I am right now, or even in Denison County Park, there's a couple of other places I've been to, just haven't really done a video about it. You may have saw some photos from the one adventure I went on with my in-laws when we had the beer festival. And that was a lot of fun. I actually used this hatchet to hammer my stakes into the ground. And this baby works fantastic. Anyway, so this particular hatchet here, I decided to go ahead and make some changes. Instead of carrying this hatchet now in the Bushcraft kit, I decided to go ahead and start carrying this particular hatchet now in the Bushcraft kit. And the reason for that is because I haven't had enough opportunity to really take this out into the field and test it some more. And also too, I can also use this particular hatchet as well to go out into the field especially if I'm on a day high kit, I can just throw this little hatchet right here in my day high kit, and this is still a very nice tool. So let's go ahead and start putting everything back together here. So again, knife fits right into the butt of the blade. Now the one thing you gotta remember is I do have the Charade SCH Com 5, which is a combo knife which has a full tang knife and a folding knife. So obviously I have two blades, but a third one never hurts to have with you as well. And in my Bushcraft kit, I typically carry two types of knives with me. I have my full tang knife, which is going to be the OKC Bushcrafter, and then I've also got my little folding knife, which is going to be from Swiss Army, the Ranger grip knife. But still, an extra blade never hurts, especially on this guy right here. So this is going to be my new Bushcraft kit tool, and this is going to be my new EDC knife, which will stay in the EDC pack. So let's go ahead and put this away. Now, moving on, let's talk about the other two tools I have here. So we're going to go and set these off to this. We're going to go and leave these right here where they are. I'm going to set them off to the side, but this way you can see them. The second tool I also do have here is another very nice hatch and is another very nice axe, and this is also by eSwings. This is the eSwings 27-inch camp axe, and this is another very nice axe. It's got a very heavy head. Again, full tang construction with a rubberized grip on the bottom for easy chopping for easy grip when it comes to chopping. Very nice pommel on the end of this kit. On this leather sheath, which is nice. It's made in Korea, or is it Korea or is it Japan? I don't remember here. Let me have a look here. Let's see. No, it's made in Taiwan. My apologies. So the sheath is made in Taiwan. This is the only thing out of this whole axe here that's made out of the United States, and that's the sheath. But that's okay. This is still a nice sheath. Comes off very easily. And look at this head too. I've used this a few times already, and this is a very nice axe. This is a very nice axe, and it does very well. I've tested it a couple of times already. As you can see, it does have some residual damage from the last time I chopped with it, and I absolutely do love this axe here. And this is a very nice axe. It feels great in hands. And then the second item I do have as well is the Zippo 4-in-1 system. And you know what, I did have a lot of complaints about this particular system a while back, and just because, well, actually the only major complaint that I really have about the Zippo 4-in-1 system is it's a great idea. The concept was there, and I do like the fact that you've got a 10 puller for one, and then on the inside of the handle you got a storage compartment for two different types of cutting blades that do attach to the hatchet here and then in here. So you do have a good saw, a nice hand saw. Let me go and show you how that works, just so you guys can see that. So you're going to unscrew the top of the case here. If I can get this single screw right. There we go. And the hatchet is going to stay right inside. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these blades. I'm going to do one end like this, and then the other end I'm going to attach to another end point on the end of the handle, if you can see that. Now I'm going to close it, give it some retention. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this guy. And as you can see, so you got a combo axe and a saw. And the saw does, surprisingly enough, it does work pretty good, actually, as a matter of fact. It's a pretty decent saw blade. Let me see if I can find maybe like a piece of wood here I can try to cut here. Let me have a look around the area here a little bit. Okay, this is a decent piece. It's not big, but you guys will at least get the idea. So this is just a piece of wood that I found. I think it's a piece of pine, if I'm not mistaken. It could be a piece of. There are a lot of pine trees around here, so this could be a piece of pine. This could be a piece of oak. I'm not exactly sure, but let's go ahead and show you how this puppy cuts. So, again, the case for the axe works is basically your holder. Whoa. Okay, this is not going to work the way I thought it would, but still, I mean, still, as you can see, this piece of wood, I'm not really applying a lot of pressure and letting the saw do all the work, but it does do a very nice cut right there on this particular piece. Easy to break with both hands, or with one hand if I need to. So again, this is still a very nice tool. Now, there were two particular dislikes about the Zippo 4-in-1. Let's go ahead and talk about that. First thing I want to go ahead and do is I want to go ahead and disassemble my saw blade here. I want to put this back in my sheath. There we go. Now this thing, it does get very, very tight, so that is still a very good thing. And as you can see, the sheath is a good little sheath here. It's hard plastic sheath, in which I know many people, and I've heard over the years, especially when it comes to camping or when it comes to their blades, a hard plastic sheath is not really the best thing to have on a knife or an axe, but for what I use it for, it's okay. So let's get back to that. Let's get back to the axe portion now. The axe portion, the blade on this particular hatchet does cut very, very well. I've actually sharpened this one time. Let me see if I can get a good cut here. Yeah, decent. I didn't really put a lot of pressure on it, but still, it does work. So the thing is that I thought I was not going to like this, but I took this out to my friend's house, helped him chop up some wood. I brought both this and my East Wings axe with me. And I went ahead, excuse me, sorry about that. And I went ahead and used both of them. And after I've sharpened this guy right here, I've gotten this guy ridiculously sharp with the work sharp and with the speedy sharp. And this does work very, very well. So I did mention I had two complaints about this particular system. And first one I would say is going to be the 10 puller. I don't think a 10 puller, a 10 stake puller, that's what it's called, my apologies. A 10 stake puller on this particular device is really a necessity. Just because 10 stake puller is not really something that you see really much anymore, because there's a lot of different types of stakes that are coming out for many of these tents and many of these newer tents that are coming out. So I don't think this one is really a necessity. Now the other thing, I don't know if you guys can see that, is the pommel. And this is a hard plastic pommel, and I've actually used this to nail my stakes into the ground. And as you can see, I have chipped the plastic on this particular pommel. So again, I do not think apply a hard plastic pommel for something like this was the best option, because it chips away very easily. If anything, this should have been either one or two things. Either A, the head itself should have been a full-size head, with, or at least have changed this guy to like a metal head, like it has on my Gerber, on this particular tool, or it should have been at least like a full-size head instead of having a plastic head. So there is a bit of a negative. Those are the only two negative things about this particular system. Now why do I have these two axes? Obviously I have this particular one that I like because it works fantastic, and I obviously have this one which I'm kind of not a fan of, but it does do the job that I wanted to do. So what have I decided? Well, what I've decided is because this particular axe, whoops, that was close. Because of this particular axe is heavy. It's very hard to carry in the pack. I've carried this one time in my Bushcraft pack, and this axe can be heavy, and it does put some weight on the pack. I don't remember what the weight of this axe is. I'll have to look it up for you guys, but I don't remember what the weight is. But still, this is a great axe. I love it. This is an axe that I would carry with me in my car and use this for car camping if I was going just to a campground. If I was doing bushcraft though, I would carry the Zippo. Again, I would not use the pommel nor the 10-stay puller, but I would still use the axe head and of course the saw. Even though I have a saw already, it still comes in handy to have an extra saw because you never know. Anything's possible, right? And then for hammering my stakes or chopping small pieces of wood, I do have my Gerber hatchet, and I also have my Bushcraft knife, so I can use those to chop smaller pieces of wood to help me make a fire. So these are what I carry into the bush. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do appreciate your comments, your views, and your support. Keep on bushcrafting, stay out, enjoy the woods. It's a beautiful world, and more importantly, have fun. Thank you very much for joining me today. Bye. I just remembered, I don't know if I mentioned this or not. I almost forgot, I think. I'm not sure if I mentioned it. I'll definitely have to go back into the video and double check here, but I will be using this now in the Bushcraft kit. So in case if I didn't mention it. So again, thank you for joining me. I wish you all the best. Be well, stay safe, enjoy the woods, strength and honor. Love to you all, and thank you. Bye.